Our next laboratory exercise is number 14. So in this laboratory, we're going to merge the code from the two labs, number 10 with the DrawBox, which is a derivative of FLBox, which is allowing us to make custom drawing, and also lab 13, which demonstrates the use of radio buttons and the checkbox. So essentially we have this and this in two different projects. So now we're going to relocate it and make it part of one project. Now the base project for this laboratory is going to be lab 10. So I have a copy of lab 10. So of course we just need to make sure that we pick the right one to make a copy. Before I make a copy, I would like to check if the directory is clean and I'm not copying any debug subfolders or any of this. So it looks good. So now I am going to use lab 10 to use it as a prototype. So we just copy and paste, right, and then rename it to be DrawBox number 14. So that's like next version of the DrawBox. Okay, so we've got this, and then so we're just gonna leave it for now, or we can actually load it into Visual Studio. I think I'll just load this, open project, and jump to our laboratories right here, labs number 14, and it still has the old name. So we'll just open this solution file and finish renaming everything. Okay, as right click right here, rename number 14. And let's continue to rename the main file as well. Okay, so now this is all taken care of. So we're now at the stage where copying the visual project is complete. We save this project. This is good. So now we need to take care of the widgets. So we need to open lab 13 first, right? And remember that lab 13 gave us the radio buttons, and we also supplied the checkbox. So we need these controls to control different primitives in the custom drawing box. So now we have location of our fluid project. So we're going to first open the lab 13, which added checkbox. So this is the location on my computer of this lab. So this is what I'm going to do, open lab 13 in fluid. So first let's start fluid. Okay, so we start fluid and we say open, and we need to navigate to lab 13. It's still pointing to the same project directory. So I'm just going to open this, and you can recognize already that it contains all of the buttons and the checkbox. So I think what we're going to do is simply start with the group of radio buttons and press Shift key down and just keep moving arrow down. So select multiple items. So this is the way to select multiple items. Just basically select one, press Shift key down, and select multiple items using the arrow key, arrow down. So now we can click somewhere. So we're gonna say edit and copy. So that's the good way of doing it, or pressing Ctrl C. And we're not making any changes here. So all we are going to do is just open the next lab, which is lab 14, the one that we just made copy of. Okay, so we have this copy of lab 14, and open its fluid box, right? So fluid project. So we have the DrawBox, and now I guess we can go right here, select window WinApp, It's important, as always, to make correct selection in the list of items in this tree view, and just say edit and paste. Okay, so we bring over side by side DrawBox and the group of radio buttons and the checkbox. Okay, so let's take a look at the layout. If I double click this window, it opens. Okay, so now it's sort of like copied and pasted the buttons in the place where they overlap with the box, right? So the box overlaps with these controls. So I think what I would like to do with this is just resize this window a little bit to give it a little bit more space, like this maybe. And then again, we can select everything in the tree view by pressing Shift down and just clicking whatever we need. And now we can move this stuff, okay, and separate it from the box. So this is the box, right? And these are the controls. So we can even resize the boxes if you'd like. And perhaps we should also fix the laboratory title, right? So this is all we need to do in Fluid. So we can just fix the title. Lab 14 DrawBox merge with radio buttons and checkbox. We can use this long title, or you can change it if you'd like. So if we double click to go to properties, so now this can change like that. Okay, so this is fine, looks fine, and let's make sure that we save. Oops, wrong application. So we save it in Fluid, File, Save, Project, and File, Write Code. So we update the C++ generated header file and implementation file for this window design. Okay, so let's see how this all works. We can now close this and minimize Fluid. I already have, of course, opened this project. So the next step beyond this point is to take care of the code, the callback buttons, right? And we're going to do this after we just do a quick test, right? So we built what we have so far. And right now, if I run it, Control F5, say, so we have this custom DrawBox, which still is capable of drawing the lines. So the functionality is there. That's fine. And these controls, if you notice, they used to generate messages after callbacks were all connected to these controls. But right now, we moved only the controls, but the callbacks and the callback related code, it's still outstanding, and we still need to move it over to this latest version of the lab. So let's do that. But right now, user interface is working as expected. So perhaps at this stage, I'll just switch to the next stage here, and we're going to use WinMerge to compare lab 13 and lab 14. Remember, we just made a copy of these labs, and it's time to make the comparison, and they're all successors of each other. So we will do this step by step. Okay, so let's get started with this, and we're going to now start WinMerge to do the work.